Imagine pulling into a lonely gas station late at night, only to find a woman sitting on the curb, crying like the whole world had just turned its back on her. You don't know her name, you don't know her story, but something deep inside tells you to help. Now, here's the twist. Less than 24 hours later, that same woman changes your life forever in a way you never dreamed possible. Before we dive in, make sure you like this video and subscribe to our channel so you never miss these incredible, life-changing stories. Ethan drove through the quiet back roads that night with his old pickup rattling under the strain of another long day. He was exhausted from working a double shift at the mechanic shop and still had to wake up early to get his 8-year-old son, Noah, ready for school. The gas gauge blinked a steady warning, forcing him to pull into a dimly lit station on the edge of town. It was one of those places that felt forgotten by time. Half the lights flickered, the vending machines hummed with a low buzz, and the smell of rain hung in the air from an earlier storm. As he stepped out to pump gas, he noticed her, sitting on the curb near the air pump, knees pulled up to her chest, face hidden in her hands. She wore a light sweater despite the chill, her hair tangled from wind and tears. She didn't look like she belonged here. Her clothes were clean but rumpled, her shoes more suited for an office than a roadside. Ethan hesitated for a moment. He wasn't the kind to get involved in strangers' business. Life had taught him to keep his head down and mind his own, but something about the way her shoulders trembled in the cold made him pause. He glanced back at his truck where Noah was dozing in the passenger seat, his small face pressed against the window. With a quiet sigh, Ethan walked toward her, boots scuffing against the pavement. "Ma'am, are you okay?" he asked gently. She looked up, startled, revealing eyes so red and swollen it was as if she had been crying for hours. For a moment she didn't answer, just stared at him like she wasn't sure if he was real. Then, in a voice barely above a whisper, she said, I don't know where to go." Her words held the kind of weight that made Ethan's chest tighten. He didn't know her story, but he knew what it was like to feel lost. After his wife passed away 2 years ago, there had been nights he'd sat alone in his truck, staring at nothing, wondering how to take the next step. He glanced toward the small store inside the station. "Do you want some coffee?" "It's warm in there," he offered. She hesitated, then nodded slowly. Inside, Ethan bought her a hot cup and a sandwich from the cooler. She thanked him softly, but her hands still shook as she ate. Between bites, she explained in fragments, how her car had broken down miles away, how her phone had died, how she'd been walking aimlessly for hours. She didn't give him many details, and Ethan didn't pry. Sometimes people just need a moment of kindness without questions. After she finished eating, Ethan gave her a ride to the nearest motel, paying for the cheapest room they had. She looked at him in disbelief as he handed the clerk his last $40 until payday. "You don't have to," she started, but he cut her off with a small smile. "Everyone needs a little help sometimes," he said simply. When she asked why, he only replied, "Because I've been where you are." She stood there for a moment, as if searching for words, then whispered, "Thank you." The next morning, Ethan woke early, his wallet nearly empty, but his mind strangely at peace. He'd done what he could, and that was enough. Little did he know, the woman he helped that night wasn't just some stranger passing through. She was about to change his and Noah's life in ways he couldn't possibly imagine. The next day, Ethan was back under the hood of an old Chevy at the shop when a sleek black SUV pulled up outside. He barely noticed until the door opened and she stepped out, the woman from the gas station, now dressed in a crisp coat and polished shoes, her hair neatly tied back. She carried herself differently, like someone who'd regained her footing overnight. Ethan wiped the grease from his hands and walked toward her, confused. You okay?" he asked. She smiled, but it wasn't the tired, broken smile from before. It was warm, confident, almost glowing. "Better than okay," she said. "And I came to thank you." Before he could respond, she handed him an envelope. Inside were keys, and a deed. Ethan blinked, his brain trying to catch up. This is a mistake," he stammered. She shook her head. No mistake. Last night you helped me without knowing who I was. I'm a real estate developer. That motel room you paid for? It reminded me that kindness still exists in the world. You didn't just give me shelter, you gave me hope. And I want to give that back to you. Ethan's hands trembled as he read the address, an old but beautiful two-story house near Noah's school, fully paid for. I can't accept this, he said, but she only smiled. You can. Because people like you deserve a break. That night, Ethan and Noah stood in front of their new home, the porch light casting a golden glow. Noah ran inside, laughter echoing through the empty rooms, and Ethan felt his chest tighten, not from sadness, but from the overwhelming weight of gratitude. Before we wrap up, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more heartwarming true stories that prove kindness can change everything.